They wanted suffering for you. Oh, they craved it. The sight of your downfall, the spectacle of your despair, the delicious little tragedy where you would collapse under the weight of your own failure. They weren't just waiting for it, they were counting on it. Because that's the thing about people like them. They don't just hate to see someone rise. No, no, no. They need to see them fall. It feeds something in them. A sickness, a hunger, a desperate, rotting void inside their souls that can only be filled by the misery of someone else. They convinced themselves that you were the one destined to break, to be swallowed whole by fate, to be swept away by the storm. They held their breath, their fingers crossed, whispering their little prayers, not to God, no, but to something much smaller, much filthier. Their egos, their envy, their pathetic little minds that could not fathom a world where you walked free, untouched, undefeated. But God, oh, he had a different plan, didn't he? He didn't answer their prayers. He didn't shatter you the way they dreamed. He didn't bury you in the dirt they threw. He didn't punish them with lightning bolts or earthquakes or fire raining from the heavens. No, he did something much, much worse. He let them watch every single moment, every single step of your ascent. And there was nothing they could do to stop it. Oh, they tried, didn't they? The whispers, the sabotage, the little games, the cowardly little schemes. They clung to the hope that maybe, just maybe, they could still twist the story in their favor. But the more they pushed, the more you thrived. The more they cursed your name, the louder it was spoken. The more they tried to dim your light, the brighter you burned. Until, eventually, they weren't just watching, they were choking on it, drowning in it. The very thing they feared, your success, became the air they had to breathe, the reality they could not escape. And oh, how poetic it was, how fitting. Because what is punishment really? Is it pain? Is it suffering? No. Real punishment is helplessness. Real punishment is being forced to witness something you hate, knowing you can't touch it, can't change it, can't stop it. They could have left. They could have turned away. But they didn't, did they? No. They stayed. Eyes wide open, lips curled in disgust, hearts sinking with every milestone you reached. They stayed because deep down, they needed to see it for themselves, needed to feel it, needed to taste the bitter truth that they were wrong, that you were not theirs to break, that you were never their victim, never their toy, never their puppet in a tragedy of their making. And the best part? The part that will haunt them forever? It wasn't just that you won. It wasn't just that you proved them wrong. No, no, no. It was that you didn't need revenge. You didn't need to stoop to their level. You didn't need to destroy them the way they tried to destroy you. You simply moved forward, rose higher, became untouchable. And that, oh that, was the dagger they never saw coming. Not a strike from the shadows, not a whispered threat, just the cold, brutal, unforgiving truth. You didn't need their downfall to rise. You rose despite them. And now they are left to sit in the wreckage of their own jealousy, their own bitterness, their own self-inflicted agony. They called for your suffering, but God, in his infinite wisdom, handed them something much worse. A front row seat to your victory. A lifetime of watching the one they tried to destroy become something greater than they could ever dream. And, oh, it's only the beginning. Because now they are trapped in a world where your success is not a fleeting moment, not a single triumph they can write off as luck. No, it's a pattern, a rhythm, a force of nature that they can neither deny nor avoid. Every breath they take is tainted with the knowledge that their hate was powerless, that all their efforts, all their schemes, all their hopes for your ruin amounted to nothing, and they must live with that every single day. They must watch you build, watch you thrive, watch you climb higher and higher, knowing that they are stuck exactly where they were, lost in the shadows of their own hatred, swallowed by their own bitterness. But it's worse than that, isn't it? Oh, so much worse. Because they weren't just watching you, they were waiting for the fall, clutching onto the hope that maybe, just maybe, your success was temporary, that your triumph was borrowed, that somehow, some way, the universe would balance itself and deliver you back into the pit they so lovingly crafted for you. But that day never came. It never will, because you are not built from the same fragile material as they are. You do not crumble under pressure. You do not break when the winds howl. You were reforged in the fire they set to consume you, tempered in the suffering they prayed would be your undoing. And now you are something else entirely, something beyond them, beyond their reach, their schemes, their power. And oh, how it must burn to wake up every morning and feel the weight of their own failure pressing down on their chests. To know that they wasted years, energy, breath, hoping for a downfall that will never come. To see you shine brighter with each passing day while they sink deeper into the misery of their own creation. Because that's what this is. Their torment is not something you did to them. No, no, no. Their torment is something they did to themselves. And now they are prisoners in their own hate, chained to a life where your success is their constant, unrelenting nightmare. And what's worse, no one cares about their suffering. No one is mourning their defeat. No one is weeping for their loss. They were so desperate to see you as the villain, so eager to cast themselves as the victims. But the world does not see them. The world does not remember them. Because why would it? They built their legacy on destruction, and destruction leaves no monuments, no statues, no legacy worth remembering. But you? Oh, you built something real, something lasting, something they will never, ever escape. This is their punishment, not fire, not brimstone, not some grand divine wrath. Just this, the simple, inescapable, soul-crushing reality that you have won. And there is nothing they can do but watch. They sit in silence, watching a world that no longer belongs to them. A world that marches forward, unbothered, unmoved by their suffering. And there you stand, not just standing tall, but towering. An unshakable monument to everything they swore you would never become. Their torment is not in wounds or scars. No, it is far worse. It is in the heavy, unrelenting knowledge that they are spectators to a victory they never wanted to see. A victory that now plays on an endless loop, haunting them like a specter that refuses to fade. They tell themselves it's a fluke, a phase, a moment in time that will pass. But the days stretch into weeks, the weeks into months, and still you thrive. Every morning, they wake up to a reality they despise, a world where you are not only winning, but making it look effortless. And no matter how much they curse, no matter how much they scream inside their hollow little souls, nothing changes. Their failure is not just in losing, it is in watching you make winning look easy. They claw at the past, digging through old memories, searching desperately for a time when they had control, when their whispers carried weight, when their schemes held power. But history has turned against them, and the only thing left in their hands is dust. The weapons they once wielded, their deceit, their sabotage, their envy, are now nothing but relics of a failed war. A war they started, a war they swore they would win, yet here they are, drowning in the ashes of their own making. And you? Oh, you don't even glance back. You don't spare them the satisfaction of knowing whether you remember their names, because that is the final, most unbearable truth. They do not matter. Their hate, their bitterness, their spite, it never had the power they believed it did. They were ghosts long before they realized it, screaming in the wind, desperate to leave a mark on someone who was always destined for greater things. But they don't just watch, they wither. The very sight of you, standing untouchable, is poison in their veins. They grit their teeth, feigning smiles, pretending to move on. But inside? Oh, inside they rot. Their own minds have become a prison, one where every wall is etched with the undeniable truth. They bet against you, and they lost. And now they must live in the wreckage of their own arrogance. So they whisper, they plot, they try to revive the ghosts of the past, thinking that if they just twist the knife deep enough, maybe, just maybe, they can make you bleed. But they forget that you are no longer flesh and bone in their world. You have become something far greater. You have become an inevitability. They watch you, hoping for weakness, praying for collapse. They cling to old narratives, telling themselves that you must have cheated, that fate was unfair, that somehow the universe is playing a cruel trick on them. But deep down, beneath the layers of self-delusion, they know the truth. You won, not because you were lucky. You won because you endured, because every stone they threw, every dagger they plunged, every trap they laid, you turned it all into fuel. They see it now in the way you move, in the way you speak, in the way the world bends in your favor. You are no longer the person they underestimated. You are no longer the fool they mocked. You are the storm they cannot outrun. You are the reckoning they never saw coming. And the most delicious irony? They built you. Every insult, every betrayal, every moment they tried to break you, it all led to this. They thought they were the architects of your downfall, but in the end, they were nothing more than the architects of their own ruin. And now, as they sit in the shadows, watching you rise, they are left with nothing but the bitter taste of regret, because they realize, far too late, that the moment they tried to destroy you was the moment they sealed their fate. And so, they will continue to watch, powerless, as you carve your name into history, not as a survivor, not as a victim, but as the one who walked through the fire and came out untouchable. But their torment is far from over. No, their suffering is only beginning, because the world they once controlled now laughs at them. The same faces that once bowed to them, the same voices that once echoed their praises, now they whisper mockery behind their backs. Those they oppressed, those they crushed underfoot, now stand taller than ever. And the oppressors? Oh, they have become the jesters in a kingdom they thought was theirs to rule. You see it in their eyes. that flicker of desperation, that hunger to reclaim a shred of what they once had. But time is a cruel master, and it does not turn back for the fallen. No one waits for those who tried to bury greatness. No one mourns the manipulators when their game is exposed. They are relics, forgotten ruins in a world that has moved on without them. And you? You don't need revenge. Your success is vengeance enough. Every step you take forward is a knife twisting in their egos. Every victory, every milestone, every breath you take without them, it is the slow, torturous death of their illusions. And the best part? They know it. They feel it, deep in the marrow of their bones. They wake up every day in a nightmare of their own making, where the very person they sought to destroy now casts a shadow over everything they do. So let them watch. Let them stew in their bitterness. Let them choke on their regret. Let them scream into the void, begging for a past that will never return. And you? Keep walking. Keep thriving. Keep proving that they were nothing more than stepping stones on your path to something greater. Because that is the ultimate power, not in destruction, not in vengeance, but in knowing that you have won. Not just today, not just tomorrow, but forever. You have become the legend they can never erase, the storm that never ceases, the reminder that no matter how much they scheme, no matter how much they wish, they will never, ever escape the consequences of their own downfall. They think time will erase you, that the world will turn just enough to make you fade, to make you just another forgotten name in the wind. But time does not erode mountains. It carves them into something even greater. And you? You are no longer just standing. You are a force that does not bow, does not falter, does not fade. They have come to understand this in the cruelest way possible, not through stories, not through whispers, but through the very reality they wake up to every single day. They see your face, your name, your influence woven into the fabric of a world they no longer control. And the worst part? There is no undoing it. No amount of lies, no amount of scheming, no amount of desperate clawing at the past will rewrite what has already been written. So they lurk, not in defiance, not in rebellion, but in sheer, helpless resentment. Every breath they take is poisoned by the sight of you thriving. They choke on the very air around them, suffocated by the knowledge that no matter how much they curse your name, it only rises higher. Their world is not one of victory, it is one of silent, gnawing defeat. A defeat they cannot escape, a defeat that follows them in every mirror, in every shadow, in every moment they are forced to witness you exist beyond their reach. And make no mistake, it is the reach that torments them most. Because once they believed they had you in their grasp. Once they convinced themselves that their words, their actions, their malice had the power to shape your fate. But that illusion has long since crumbled, and what remains is the unbearable truth. They never had power over you at all. They were nothing more than obstacles, temporary roadblocks, fleeting storms that thought they could uproot a tree whose roots ran deeper than they ever realized. And now, as they stand in the wasteland of their failed war, they look around and see nothing but the remnants of their own arrogance. They built nothing. They created nothing. All they ever did was try to destroy. But destruction is a game for the weak. The powerful, they build, they rise. They take every stone thrown at them and forge them into something unbreakable, And that is what haunts them most. Not just that they lost, but that you use their own hands to build the throne they are now forced to bow before. They tell themselves it isn't over, that maybe, just maybe, there is still a chance to bring you down. That if they whisper loud enough, scheme hard enough, gather enough fools to rally against you, they might be able to shake what you've built. But deep down, even they know the truth. It is not you who stands on shaky ground, it is them. Every move they make, every bitter attempt to rewrite the past, is nothing more than a desperate man grasping at smoke. Because you do not fall, you do not break. You do not bend to the will of those who have already proven themselves unworthy of even standing in your shadow. And so, they are left with the only thing they have ever truly possessed: regret. A regret that consumes them from the inside out. A regret that eats away at whatever remains of their fragile egos, leaving behind nothing but hollow shells of what they once were. And yet, you do not gloat. You do not need to. Your existence is enough. Your success, your endurance, your ability to continue thriving in a world that once tried to bury you, that is the only revenge necessary. Because revenge is not about destruction. It is about proving that destruction itself was never enough to stop you. It is about showing them that they never had the power to break you in the first place. And so, you do not look back. You do not waste breath on the defeated. You keep walking, keep building, keep rising, because that is what you were meant to do. And as you ascend, their world shrinks. They become shadows, ghosts trapped in the ruins of their own making. They are left to wander the empty halls of their failures, whispering amongst themselves, trying to make sense of the nightmare they now live in. They will grasp at whatever remnants of pride they have left, telling themselves that they were right all along, that it was you who changed, not them. But the truth lingers like a phantom in their minds, refusing to be ignored. The truth is simple. They lost. Not just the battle, not just their grip on your destiny. They lost themselves. They spent so long trying to ruin you that they forgot to build themselves. Now, they are nothing. Hollow, defeated, irrelevant. But you keep moving forward. The sun rises, and with it, so do you. Every step you take is a testament to your resilience. Every breath you draw is a reminder that you survived. You won. Not because you crushed them, not because you played their game and came out victorious, but because you refused to play at all. You rose above. And now, as they wither in the shadows of their own bitterness, you bask in the light of your own legacy. And as for them, they will watch forever, trapped in a nightmare of their own making, forced to live in the reality they fought so hard to prevent. Because in the end, it was never about you falling. It was always about them realizing they were never strong enough to stand in your way.